So today we're going to be talking about number talks. My name is Catherine Randall. So an overview of number talks. Number talks are a form of mental math. So that means that the math is all inside your head. You don't need any paper or pencil. You're figuring out the problems inside your head. They help you with a lot of things. First, they help you with your critical thinking skill because you find different ways to solve the same problem. They help you to be more accurate and efficient because you're solving problems faster and more correct. And they help you make sense of your math. So you're understanding the reasoning behind math. Today, we will talk about how to do a number talk and 3 strategies for subtraction. So let's go over how to do a number talk. I will put a problem on the board and you will use a strategy to find an answer to the problem in your head. If you find a solution using one strategy, I want you to give a thumbs up. That means that you have found the solution using one strategy. So your thumbs up is against your chest. And after you figure out one strategy for figuring out that solution, I want you to figure out a second strategy. And then you can put a second finger out. So keep on figuring out different strategies. And you can even have up to 3 or 4 fingers at once. And once everyone has a solution, I will ask for you to raise your hand to offer up a solution, and we'll make a collection of everyone's possible solutions. And then I will call on someone to explain his thinking in defending one answer. And we'll continue to hear how people use different strategies to solve the problem, and we're all going to agree on one solution being correct. So we're going to be respectful of one another and listening to one another's opinions. And also, this is a great time to admit our mistakes that we made and see how someone else does it so that we can understand how we can do it better the next time. So first, I'm going to review the typical subtraction method for double-digit numbers. And so if you take a problem 52 minus 18, just a quick reminder, this is just a refresher, so I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. So we're looking at the problem 52 minus 18. And you look and see that 2 is a smaller number than 8. And so we must borrow 1 10 from the tens place. So there are currently 5 tens in the tens place. So we're going to mark out 5, we're going to borrow, and now there are 4 tens. So we brought a 10 over to the ones place, and so now instead of just 2 ones, we have 1 10 plus 2 ones, which is 12. So now it's just simple subtraction, so we're subtracting from the ones place, so it's 12 minus 8 equals 4, and 4 minus 1 equals 3. So what is our answer? It's 34. 34. And it would be difficult to do all this problem in this way in your head. So we're going to learn 3 methods that you can use to do this problem in your head easier. An easier way. So first, we're going to talk about decades, which, oh my goodness. So decades, which you use to, you may have been using this method already without realizing that you've been using it. So let's walk through the problem and you can see if you've used this method before. So we're going to take the same problem, 52 minus 18. We're going to look at the smaller number, which is 18, and round it to the nearest tens place. And in this method, in this case, we will round up from 18 to 20. So now we have the problem 52 minus 20. Now we can easily subtract 20 from 52 and we will get 32. And so we must account for the extra 2 that we originally subtracted. Since we subtracted 2 more than the original problem, we now will add 2 more to get the final answer, which is 34. And so subtracting 2 more and then adding 2 more actually just zeroes out what you did, but just you did it in an easier way. So we just used the same answer, by using this mental method than by the method where we had to write out the problem. But in this case, we use decades by rounding up, and so 18 was closer to 20 than it was to 10, and so we rounded up. But how do you use decades when you have to actually round down, when the number is closer to the lower tens? So let's take a look. So decades, rounding down. So we have to use a different problem, but you can learn this way also. So 51 minus 23. We take the smaller number and round it to the nearest tens place. And in this case, we're going to round it down from 23 to 20. So 51 minus 20 is 31. So we must account for the 3 that we did not subtract. So we know that 20 plus 3 is 23. We already subtracted 20, so now we have to subtract 3 more. Let's see, 31 minus 3 is 28. So for decades, it's slightly different if the number is closer to, if you have to round up or if you have to round down, but it's basically the same concept. So the next strategy is adding up. And we're going to look at the same initial problem, which is 52 minus 18. And so the first thing we're going to do with adding up is taking the smaller number 18, and what we want to do, taking that smaller number 18, what we want to do is add up until we get the larger number. For example, we want to add 2 to get 20, which is the nearest 10. So if you see, we added 2 to get to 20, which is the nearest 10, and then we added 30 to get to 50, and then we added 2 to get to 52. So basically, we just broke it apart. We broke it apart to make it easier, and we just added up, and then we know that 2 plus 30 plus 2 equals 34. So we added up the numbers that we used to add up. So that is another strategy we can use. And then next, we have decomposing. And so we're going to go through that same problem one last time, and this time we're going to look at it horizontally instead of vertically. It makes it easier to understand. And to use the decomposing method of subtraction, you will first take apart the smaller number in the problem, which is 18. We take apart the smaller number in the problem so that you're subtracting easier numbers that add up to that number 1. So first, you subtract a number from the tens place. This could be 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. For this example, and we'll just subtract 10. Then we subtract the remaining numbers in the easiest way possible. 52 minus 10 is 42. And then subtract the numbers in the easiest way possible. So I decided to subtract 2 from 40 so that it would round to the nearest 10 place, so to subtract the remaining 6. So 42 minus 2 is 40, and then the remaining 6, 40 minus 6, is 34. So as you can see, 10 plus 2 plus 6 equals 18. So all we did is subtracted 18 in smaller numbers that were easier to subtract. So now that we have found 3 other ways to solve the same subtractive problem in our heads rather than on the sheet of paper. So our next number talk, when we do subtraction, you can use these methods in your head to solve our problems. So let's go over a little overview of number talks one more time so that I make sure everyone gets how to do number talks. So So do number talks. You solve the number in your head using a strategy, and first we're just going to go over subtraction problems since that's the only strategies we've done, and then you'll let me know with hand signals how many ways you have found to solve that problem. I'm going to ask everyone to raise their hands to offer possible solutions, and it's important to be quiet and respectful of the other students. I will ask students to explain their thinking with different ways that they solve the problem, and we'll listen to others' points of views. We will all agree on one solution to the problem, although there are different strategies to get to that one solution. So here I've just listed more resources for you to go to learn more about number talks, so feel free in your time to find them. I'm going to post this PowerPoint on our website so you can go and look at these other ways to do number talks. Awesome, great job guys.